John Watson. John, have a cup of tea. Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson, what do you think? Dr. Watson. You're a genius, John. John, John, you probably want to shut up now.
John,
This is my friend, John Watson. John?
John! John!
John,
John, concentrate.
As John. Valuable antiquities, John. 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 John, look at this.
The book, John, the book.
John!
John.
Well, John. John. Oh, Sarah, John. Well, John. Really well. John.
Come on, John.
John. John. John. It's a countdown. John. John.
John, you might want to put that cut back in its saucer now.
John, as ever you see but do not observe.
I think we're done now, John.
Steady, John knows where to look. John, man the door, let no one in. All right, John, you can turn it off now.
John? John!
John? Shame on you, John Watson.
Happy New Year, John. Except you let John know that you're alive and therefore me. Very good, John. Excellent plan. Please don't feel obliged to tell me that was remarkable or amazing. John's expressed that thought in every possible variant available to the English language. John, please can you check those flight schedules, see if I'm right? Yes, John.
I imagine John Watson thinks love's a mystery to me. John, I need some. Get me some.
Oh, John, I envy you so much. Yes, if I wanted poetry, I'd read John's emails to his girlfriends. Much funnier.
Nothing to do with footprints as ever, John. You weren't listening. Always rely on John to send me all the relevant data as he never understands a word of it himself. Sorry, John, I went.
I saw it too, John. Look at me, I'm afraid, John.
I use my senses, John.
John. No. It was more than that, John. It was doubt. I felt doubt. Listen, what I said before, John, I meant it. I don't have friends. I've just got one. John? John! You are amazing.
It was glowing, John. Its whole body was glowing.
John. John?
Now, shut up, please.
John? Are you all right?
John.
So, but you didn't, John. You didn't see it. John.
Oil, John.
Thank you, John.
John.
Kidnapping.
He's not resisting. No.
John.
John.
Goodbye, John.
No.
And what about John Watson? I think I'll surprise John. He'll be delighted.
A few moments later.
Okay, John, I'm suddenly realizing I probably owe you some sort of an apology.
Shut up, John! I don't want everyone knowing I'm still alive!
London is in danger, John.
Goodbye, John.
John, you're being yourself.
Shut up, John.
Why indeed, John?
Save John Watson. Now.
John!
John.
John.
John. These are my rats, John.
Not an underground network, John. It's an underground network.
Right.
What? John.
Go, John. Go now. I can't do it, John. I don't know how. Please, John, forgive me for all the hurt that I caused you. It was vital that John stayed just where I'd put him.
I like the nicely embellished fictions on your blog, John.
Do you know any funny stories about John?
The Facebook photographs of the happy couple Mary takes center frame, whereas John is always partly or entirely excluded.
Mary and John will be extremely
Delighted.
John asked me to be his best man. John Watson. My friend, John Watson. John. When John first broached the subject of being best man, I was confused.
I'm afraid, John, I can't congratulate you.
Let's talk about John.
John, I am a ridiculous man. John.
Now on to some funny stories about John. What happened? Why are you all doing that? John?
I haven't finished yet.
So on to some funny stories about John. John's blog.
John Watson.
However, I'm not just here to praise John, I'm also here to embarrass him.
How would you calculate John's ideal intake?
John. John! Wake up. John, wake up. He's not a ghost, John.
How invaluable John is to me.
I will solve your murder, but it takes John Watson to save your life.
John Hamish Watson.
John Hamish Watson. John H. Watson. John's great, too. It's always you. John Watson. Now, John, I'd poison. Of course, Wancho, but not at John's wedding. You would never do that to John Watson. Johnny sought revenge on Sholto.
Mary and John.
Oh, hello, John.
For God's sakes, John, I'm on a case.
Have you ever been to the shark tank at the London Aquarium, John?
Have you got out of the house, John?
John, you are addicted to a certain lifestyle. John.
John? John. Get away from me, John!
Since this is likely to be the last conversation I'll have with John Watson, would you mind if we took a moment? The game is never over, John. John, there's something I should say
To the very best of times, John.
Intuitions are not to be ignored, John.
John and Mary's baby.
Anything to add, John? John?
Yeah, listening.
What is that?
Sherlock, should we take him with us?
John or the dog?
It's funny.
Before you gave it to John, did you keep your memory stick safe? Hello, Mary.
Hey.
John?
On his way.
Oh, John.
I need you to know, John, I need you to see that up here, I've still got it. I have been many things, John. Remember that one, John?
John, something to do with murder at the...
John?
It's not a pleasant thought, John.
It's more than possible. She was John's therapist.
This is a private matter.
John stays.
This is family.
That's why he stays.
John has a daughter. He may wish to say goodbye.
John.
Yes.
Fine.
John.
John.
John, don't let it distract you.
Distract me. Soldiers today.
John.
Yeah.
Where are you?
John.
John! Can you hear me? John! John.
Yeah, it's flooding. The well is flooding.
Try as hard as possible not to drown.
Tell me how to save my friend. Help me save John Watson.
How could John be having a birthday dinner? Hello, John. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. Watson, give the inspector what he so clearly wants. Watson, Watson, your hat and coat. It's Watson.
No, Watson. One place is strictly the limit for the recently deceased.
It's Watson. Watson? It's Watson.
Watson!
I need to iron that score, Watson. I understand your disapproval, Watson. Dr. Watson is endlessly vigilant. Hush, Watson. Watson. Okay, Dr. Watson and I will follow on the next train. You amaze me, Watson. We all have a past, Watson. 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 Are you quite well, Watson? The romantic entanglement, Watson. Oh, Watson. Stay here, Watson. Watson is equally culpable. Watson. The only broken window in this establishment is the one that Watson and I entered through. My dear Watson. Never doubt that, Watson. Oh, good old Watson. So you see, Watson...
John.
John, please. Thank you, John. John. Between you and me, John, I always survive a fall.
But how?
Elementary, my dear Watson.